reconnect screen. Oh hell, I hope everything's going your way, reconnect screen. If you'll just stop doing that, you're getting on my nerves. All right guys, so I am on this little piece of property I bought in the middle of town. Had a little building on it, about a half acre. Nice little lot. There's all kinds of minerals and stuff in Nevada, but it's nice either way. So I'm out here today, and I'm wiring a 30 amp breaker for my travel trailer because I'm about to move it on here. And interesting thing, in Nevada, where I am in Crescent Valley, you can get an unmetered water account because for some reason water meters cost like $5,000 to get installed right in front of your property. Oh boy, I have a feeling that some bureaucrats just want to shake you down, right? Ain't that what a bureaucrat does? They do the shaking until it's our turn, and then we do some shaking. All right, so I got it wired in here, and I wanted to show you what I did real quick because my battery's about to die. This is a Vever. This is a Vever 30 amp travel trailer receptacle. It's got a little blueprint here, a little schematic. Now I want to explain the schematic. That's your bus bar over here. It tells you what each one does. Ground, I believe that one's neutral, and that one's your hot. Now they did this where it kind of confuses you. They put the screws up here on the schematic. The screws face towards the back. I'm so sorry about this camera. They put little screws on this picture, but the screws face away from the direction this actually is. So you want to look at this little Y as if you're looking straight at this. So this is your ground, that's your hot, and that's your neutral. And when you take this out to wire it on the back, it'll have a green screw for your ground, it'll have a brass for your hot, and it'll have a silver for your neutral. Now, on a house or things of this nature, you have 3 wires. You have a hot wire, you have a ground wire, and you have a neutral wire. Now, you only have a ground on like stuff that was made, I don't know the date, but it had to be like the 60s or after, because houses used to have like fuses instead of breakers, and they did not have a ground on them. Now, if you think of this in terms of cars and car electronics, on a house, your neutral is your ground wire in a car, and your hot wire is your 12 volt on a car. But on a house, you have it's a little bit different. All right, so this is your ground wire, and on a house, a ground wire is a safety circuit, basically. And your hot and your neutral would act like your hot and your ground on a car, if you understand what I'm saying. You don't have the 3-wire system like this on a car. You can have signal wires and things, but let me get back to this because we're getting technical now. Now, I did not like the way this was. When I was doing this, I planned to have this turned out this way, but I'm going to change this where it's straight down. And then I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to take the wires loose, of course. I'm going to go straight into the bottom and then just put the wires back how they were. So that's what I'm telling you about that little schematic that comes with these Vever boxes. You actually looking at it, it's got little screws on it, but the screws face the other direction. That's where the confusing part comes in. So that's your ground, your brass screw is your hot, and your silver screw is your neutral, and the ground is green screw. So there you go. If you decide you're going to get one of these, you know, it comes with some stuff I wanted to tell you about too. Now, this is a 3/4 inch connection up into the box. Now, the problem with this is Vever gives you 3 of these. I had to use the inch for right now because Vever's 3/4, which should go with this, does not account for the thread width. The thread width makes it on these. If you use these are exterior grade. You know, I could have used conduit like that, but I wanted something that was just flexible that I could work with. I didn't feel like heating that up and bending it over my knee and all that shit. So basically I got that, And Vever's 3/4, which is what should be on the bottom plate, it won't actually go over the threads. And I tried it. You could ream it out. I didn't have a reamer. You could try to drill the hole out if you had a step bit. I don't have that with me either. I had what I had. So then we come up here, and whenever I swap this over to a straight fitting into it, I am going to probably be able to put it on here, and I'll put one of these brackets on there to hold it, because I don't know, guys, I don't like that, but it'll do. It's pretty safe right at the moment. And we just come up here, and I went straight into here, and this was too long, and mine was already plugged in there, and I couldn't get it out. I had to cut it and make something. I'm going to get my PVC glue, and I'm going to glue this in here whenever I'm finally done fidgeting with everything. And I wired it to this brand new single pole 30 amp. You want a single pole 120 volt 30 amp breaker. This is a square D box. You know what that means? It's made a certain way on the back end, so you need their breaker. I had to go to Home Depot and get a different breaker because the plastic molding is different for their box. But it works now. And to me, this looks like it's kind of slightly up. It's not. I got it down as far as it would go, because you can tell in there on that metal probe. And by the way, something I want to mention while I'm up here, make sure you have your power turned off. Don't be touching this stuff with your power from your box and this breaker on. I should have said that first, but I'm saying it now. This shit will shock you really bad at the least and kill you at the worst. So make sure this is off. All right. So I have all my breakers off anyways. And that metal terminal is all the way down. So it looks like it's a little bit up. It's just gonna have to look like that because it's firmly down. And on these they call them kits because they come with everything you need to just do this. You might have to adjust it. I cut some off of mine anyway. That's why I had to make something in there. And so you have 3 wires. Now for some reason, the 3 wires that come with this are black, green, and red. It would be great if it was black, green, and white, but it's black, green, and red. So I use the red as the hot, and it goes into my breaker, and proceed at your own risk and caution. All right, I'm just telling you about what I did today. And I ran black and green up the side of here, tried to keep it out of the way, and I put them in the top. And when I tighten these down, I just gave them, when I tightened them down, I just gave them a little yank, yank, yank. It's in there firm, yank, yank, yank. That one's in there firm. No moving around. And these square D ones, another thing I don't like about these, I'm going to get my other breaker and show it to you. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll tell you about that. But I'm going to tell you something. All the breakers that I've seen are essentially, I need to clean this car out, boy. I'm a slob. Look at that. All right, let me see. Let me have this breaker. Here we go. Okay, this is the original breaker. This is the original one that I bought. It should have worked, but Square D wanted to be specific and special. So I want to show you what most breakers now do. You see that right there? That is the best way to do this. You got your fastener screw down in there, and you basically strip your wire. You shove that in there, and you tighten it down. It'll hold the piss out of it. See this right here? You see that? Both sides are molded different. That's the only thing stopping it. But anyways, on Square D, for some reason, this obnoxious mess, you loosen that, a plate comes up, and then around the sides of it, you're supposed to feed that in there and then tighten it back down. So I got it in there, and I tightened it as tight as I could get it without breaking it. And there, I just gave it a little bit of yank. It won't move. It's fine. It won't move, and it's fine. Yeah, so great. All right, on a car that would not be my liking, but this ain't gonna be enduring all the vibrations, movement, and everything. It's in there. I can't pull it loose. You see on this other stuff, they got the little thin wires and everything. That goes to that light up there. This is going to a break, so it needed a bigger wire. That's a 10 amp wire. And that's a 10 amp neutral. And the ground is 8 for some reason. Or no, the ground is 10. This is 8, and the ground is 10. And that ground, they've got it rigged up to that right to that. That's how this one works. It's the same bus bar. It'll do the same thing. It's fine. All right, so before I close this up, I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to show y'all. Don't touch nothing in here except plastic. All right, we're going to leave the light off. I got power going to this box. Now I'm going to show you something important, best I can. All right, I got my handy dandy multimeter, and we want to set this to read AC voltage. So you see the wave in the V. So we're going to turn it up to 600 AC volts, and we're going to get our handy dandy probes out there. And before I do that, I'm going to show you an important trick till you get used to these. You're going to take these. Okay, I got mine set to continuity. Continuity is that little wave thing right there. We're going to test our probes. That means it'll work. That means everything in the cables are fine and everything, so they'll work. They're reliable. All right, we're looking for like between 118 and 120, basically. So, if you remember what I told you a minute ago, we got hot. I don't know if I can do this with my hands. All right. So, we're basically going to stick the red one in here, and we're going to stick the black in the other side, and we're going to look at our reading. 118 volts AC. So that's what we're supposed to have. Now, one more thing we're about to do is we're going to test between ground and neutral to make sure there's no voltage, because that indicates a short. That means electricity from the hot wires getting in here. Something's wrong. Don't plug things up or anything. Of course, if that's the case, when you plug something in, your breaker should trip, but we're testing it before we touch it, and this will tell us everything we need to know. So we put that in the ground, and we just put that right there. Let me make sure this is in there good. All right. And we have 0 volts, which means that's what that's supposed to be. All right. So I'm going to put on my continuity real quick. Yep, there we go. Still 0. I checked it for continuity first. That beeping noise indicates both of them are they're going to have continuity between ground and neutral, because it's all connected and they're touching in there basically. So we got power going in, we got ground. I'm going to turn it all off until I got my camper over here. And that's what I wanted to show you. I also wanted to tell you about these breakout. But if you're like me, for some reason you get hung up on the most monotonous thing. Like, how am I going to punch one of these out to make room for the breaker? How am I going to punch one of these out? You get hung up on the weirdest stuff for no reason. And basically all you do, these have little perforations around them, and the same thing with this. You basically going to hit the one you want out. Okay, with a hammer, it'll break loose. The rest will stay in place. On this one, I just took a screwdriver and a hammer, and from underneath it, I tapped upward with the screwdriver, or you can use a punch, and this thing flapped right up, and then I wiggled it back and forth until it broke free. So that's basically all you do. And when you're screwing with this, putting it back together, make sure you turn your power off. Okay, just make sure you turn all of them off. Even though you really only need to turn that one off, but I'm superstitious, so turn your main one off and you put it back together. Turn it off before you take it apart. You don't want to be in here touching things, you'll get electrocuted. All right, if you've got light power going to it, you off and on. All right, so that's really all there is to it. Okay,